Hi, we're live. Stream. I don't know which one is. We got two chairmans for some reason. Okay. Um.
What we were supposed to bask in?
uh, Funny enough, this is actually Nikki ASH theme song. Good for her, I guess. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the War Report, brought to you by TagMeAndDate.com, the first and only dating site exclusively for fans of professional wrestling. And our podcast is a weekly podcast on talking about pro wrestling. And if you've been following along, um, yes, thank you in the comments there, Autumn, Nikki, which silly me. We'll get into the show proper in a second. Nikki ASH is like the worst. Because here's the thing, she was Nikki Storm first on the Indies. Then she was Nikki Cross in WWE. It would almost make sense where if you used, I know it's ASH, it's an acronym, but if you called her Ash, Nikki Ash, maybe that's a little better. I don't know. We'll get into it. Nikki Cross, Nikki Ash, whatever. Nikki ASH won the fucking Raw Women's title after cashing in on Charlotte, who only had the title for 24 hours. Still found time to take a picture of her with the belt, sleeping in a bed with Andrade. Yep. Well, what do we think here? We'll start just right off with the biggest news. Well, I guess second biggest news aside from a few returns. But Nikki winning the Raw Women's title, cashing in after another one of Sam's favorite matches. Chairman has a favorite match that he loves seeing every time, and that is Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. And so yeah, we had that match, which Charlotte won, obviously, because you never bet against Charlotte.
Oh, I
And
thought
then
you were going to say how much he loved. Oh, he got so mad he jumped off on that shit.
Oh, he got so mad he just said.
I thought you were going to say how much he loved the women's Money in the Bank match because we all know how much he adores those.
Yeah, but I mean, at least it's Money in the Bank, so like there's multiple people, they're big spot. Even if it's like a little botchy, that's fine because like you can botch in a Money in the Bank, but like botching in the women's, and here I listen to Brian Alvarez a lot on Figure Four Daily or Wrestling Observer Live, whatever. He really liked the pay-per-view match between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, and I did not like that match.
I didn't have a problem with the match. It started off very, very sloppy. It got better as it went on, but the first maybe 5 minutes of it, I would have to agree with you 100% that it looked really bad.
It was funny because like in the group chat, Chairman was giving us the old botch number one. Botch
yep.
number two, something happened. He was being real picky, but
you kind of have to because you know we tear apart the men's matches like that all the time.
And here's the other thing is that WWE's matches have been so bad lately.
Yep.
That even now mediocre and okay matches are like, oh, that's a great match, only because our expectations are so low now.
Yep.
We'll go. I want to talk Money in the Bank, but Steve is not connected yet, so we'll wait on Money in the Bank.
Yep, and I agree with Ryan. He also said they all looked dumb at the end. They did.
At the end of
at the women's Money in the Bank match with just Nikki
yes,
literally climbing over everybody.
Yeah, it was supposed to be some kind of metaphor about how she's overlooked and nobody could think she could win. But they literally like overlooked her as she climbed up the ladder. I mean, Jesus Christ, she's wearing a blue mask. How could you miss her?
I think the highlight of that match was the exchange between Alexa and Zelina Vega on top of the ladder.
Was that the one where she hypnotized
Like
her?
when she possessed her. Yeah, that was probably the most entertaining part of the entire match for me, which is sad.
What are they doing with that whole, like, it doesn't look like Bray Wyatt's coming back anytime soon.
Right.
I don't know where this whole spooky girl, Monster High girl thing is going.
Justin Colt said she looked like a dominatrix version of Lydia from Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah, I can see
is what he said on Sunday night.
You know, there's a reason.
And then last night, Lily came back again.
So over this whole idea. I'm just over it.
But no, here's what's sad. Lily is still more entertaining than Eva Marie and Dewdrop.
Oh, that poor girl. They had her in this leopard. What are they doing? They're intentional. I know they're doing this intentionally, but how could you go out there?
Mm-hmm.
I would be so fucking embarrassed.
Yep.
And especially if you're already a big person and you know people are gonna make fun of you. Like she's got to be really tough to put up with this shit. That's so awful.
It was. But did you actually see? They actually gave Nia Jax good gear last night.
Yeah, she did have different gear.
That outfit last night, I was like, finally, it only took how many years has she been on the active roster?
Yeah, with her Terry Funk saddle ass. Your saddle ass. Every time with those like they just had these like chappy things on.
Why are we wearing shoulder pads on our hips?
I was just gonna plug Chairman back in, but he dropped out again. I forgot I have to let people in the room because Steve's not here.
Oh shit! Has he been sitting there that entire time?
The whole time.
Oh, you're fired.
Oh no! I mean, I'm a bad board operator. What can I say? We'll cover Raw and we'll go back to Money in the Bank.
Yeah, let's do that so that way we can wait for everybody for Money in the Bank.
So we had a good news, bad news situation with the Keith Lee. Keith Lee came back, but he immediately lost in very convincing fashion to Bobby Lashley.
No basking in that glory.
So, an interesting thing happened as I was reading comments on this match earlier today. Somebody said this match was Vince McMahon's way of comparing Bobby Lashley and Keith Lee, and in Vince's mind, the way that Bobby Lashley is better than Keith Lee. Whereas Keith Lee is a better promo. He is a better wrestler. He can do more moves. And he's got more charisma. He's likable, whatever. There's a lot of positives. But, in the words of Scott Steiner, he's fat. So, as soon as you're fat, you aren't as successful as Bobby Lashley. You'll never be as successful as Bobby Lashley because you're fat. That was somebody's speculation on why the match was booked the way it was.
That makes about as much sense as Keith Lee losing last night.
It just you didn't have to book this match. You could have had Keith Lee wrestle anybody and beat them. Like he came back, live crowd. This first time he's back, big deal. People thought he was like injured or not cleared or whatever else, and they were waiting for his return for the live crowds to immediately lose a 7-minute match. And the same thing happened with fucking Kofi the day before. Yeah. All to set up Goldberg, who literally walked over Keith Lee to claim his title match with Bobby Lashley. Holy shit. Chairman, are you connected to us? What do you think? Uh-oh. He might be lagging behind. Oh, there's another one. Oh my god, he keeps popping up like a bug. Anyway, Chairman, can you hear us? Chairman, can you hear me? No? Okay.
Oh, man, it's always so much fun having a wrestling fan that's a thespian also, too, on the same show.
Yeah. Oh, so, and speaking of, the Drama King, what's his face, the former Aiden English, is making his Impact debut soon. So,
yep.
To him. But yeah, I don't love the idea. Listen, if Goldberg, Bobby Lashley was going to happen, that's fine. You can literally set up Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg just by Goldberg coming out and
Yeah,
challenging.
they still didn't have to do that to Bobby Lashley. I mean,
No, they didn't have to
Keith
do it
Lee,
to
not at all.
Kofi. What the fuck was that about? Kofi Kingston, the last 2 title matches he was in, one lasted 8 seconds. And
Yep,
then
Brock
the
Lesnar.
next
Yep.
one was about 5 minutes long, and he just got his ass beat.
And yet, last week on Raw, we let Xavier Woods pin Bobby Lashley.
Yeah,
With
so
no disrespect to Xavier Woods, but still. So wait a minute, Xavier Woods can pin him?
Yes, this whole thing doesn't make any sense. Why would you let Xavier out of... If you lined up 3 guys and you say Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Keith Lee, and you said one of these guys is going to beat Bobby Lashley, it's not Xavier Woods.
Yeah, absolutely.
What in the fuck?
I don't know. Maybe Return to Life crowds was supposed to piss the fans off so much that they have to come back for redemption. I don't know.
Well, that's what I felt like they were like. I honestly felt like they were headed that way Sunday night until John Cena came out. Spoiler alert.
Yep.
Like, I was like, oh great, another fucking. I know people like this Roman Reigns thing, but it's the same goddamn finish every time. I'm sick of it. Like, I just. Oh, Steve's connected. Hey,
Yay.
Steve.
Oh shit.
What happened?
He looks so happy.
Every fucking week with this goddamn computer. And I don't know if it's the computer. I don't know if it's the fucking internet. But it's really starting to piss me off. Every fucking week. Now, I want to say something because I've been listening. I've been listening.
He's all riled up.
Here's my... All right. I'm dying to talk about Money in the Bank. And I'm dying to talk about Raw.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
Here... we're gonna talk about Keith Lee because I have waited so fucking long for Keith Lee to make his return to fucking lose. Now, here's my thing. I think you're wrong with your feeling as to the reason why. I think they knew they were doing this deal with Goldberg. Goldberg has to wrestle contractually X amount of times a year. This is the last time he contractually has to wrestle. He's not going to win.
No.
They have to make it look like Bobby Lashley, without question, has a chance of beating Goldberg because he's going to beat Goldberg. To be able to go over on somebody like Keith Lee, and I don't think it was a squash. Keith Lee put up a good fight. I don't think he should have lost. Let me be clear. On your return match, you don't be put in that spot. You don't go after Bobby Lashley because you have to lose. But at the same time, I don't think he looked poor. I think he looked great, especially being out of the ring, since January. And I'm happy to see him back. But I think they really did it in... I think they really went that route just to really put Lashley to that next level of being the guy that could take down Goldberg.
Well, you know why? Because the guys that usually take that loss, namely The Big Show and Braun Strowman, are both no longer with the company. Because whenever Brock Lesnar or somebody had a big match, they just put him in with Braun or Big Show and have him win. Or Mark Henry, who's also gone.
Well, it's funny. I'm so fired up right now. I don't even know where I was gonna fucking go. You have Keith Lee return, and you have him lose because he has to lose, and you put him in this fucking situation that he should have never been in. Then you bring up Karrion Kross. Now, how we're bringing up Kross when he's still NXT champion is question number one. Number two. How do you have... So Karrion Kross comes out. They change up his entrance. There's no Scarlett. Right there, you lost points. No Scarlett, you lose points.
You're right.
So he comes out, a half-ass... Even the lights weren't doing what they normally do. It was a half-ass entrance.
He's lip-syncing the song.
Right. Fucking stupid. And then he gets into and then Jeff Hardy comes out. And I'm saying to myself, wow, this is a done deal. Jeff Hardy's going to get squashed. Karrion's going to look like a fucking... And in less than 2 minutes, Karrion Kross loses. Like, what the fuck are we doing? What is up? You made him a monster in NXT. He's squashing the shit out of the roster. His debut on Raw as a champion in less than 2 minutes loses to Jeff Hardy. Loses to Jeff Hardy. The only caveat I will give it was a Fugazi finish. Feet were on the ropes.
Yeah, but then
if you know, but
the
still,
follow-up though is Karrion Kross going, Jeff Hardy, you've made the mistake of your life. It's like, by beating you, by outsmarting you. Like,
well, I think he was more going with, you're gonna fucking die now.
Right.
But I will not be able to buy in to Karrion Kross without Scarlett. He needs Scarlett. He needs the fucking
as soon
the thing.
As they took the hourglass. As soon as they took the lyrics out of that song, I was like, oh, this is bad.
Well, see, now I saw something different than you, right? So now I didn't watch Raw until this morning, but I DVR'd it live.
Yeah.
Scarlett was singing the song when he came out.
Oh, you could hear it? I couldn't hear it.
I could hear it, and he was mouthing it too.
It was Scarlett's music. It's the same music that it always was.
They just don't have her singing along.
But she wasn't there. And as he's walking down the ramp, he's lip syncing the words to it like how Scarlett normally does.
See, now you know what would be funny is if they gave him a microphone and as he, and then he's singing the fucking all the way.
Yeah, but he was walking down like Grenade.
Yeah, no, that's. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. It's not the same. Like, what I said this in the chat last night. I said this is going to be Mark Miro and Sable all over again, where they're going to like job this guy out and get rid of him, and then they're going to keep around Scarlett to do, whatever else.
Hopefully her power bomb is better. No.
Yeah, I know, right?
I for the life of me, I just can't understand how you have both of them lose. One is a return that has been highly anticipated for a long time, and the other is a call up to the roster that we knew was coming, and we're excited for because he's a beast. The only thing I could say positive to that, at least he's not running for president of the United States, and that was just a
Facebook post. Thank God.
Well, he still has to address tonight on TNA, like the whole thing that happened between him and Samoa Joe last week too, which still makes no sense then why he was on Raw last night.
Unless he's going to work both brands. I mean, he's still champion. He's got to still work NXT. Unless he's going to relinquish the title.
Is he still being called up, then what are they going to? He's going to have a match with Samoa.
But at that point, if I'm Karrion Kross and I'm getting called up to lose to Jeff Hardy in my debut, I'd rather stay champion in NXT.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Not that you're going to have the fucking choice. Chairman, I miss you. Welcome back, brother.
Cheers. I miss you guys.
Hey. All right. He's back.
Sorry, I'm in the car. I apologize. I got activity issues over here.
That's all right. So I know you've kind of been following along the last 20 minutes or so. Any thoughts on...
I got to answer that last one right there. I could tell you reasons why they both lost last night.
Okay. Here we go.
And the reason is they both come from NXT, and that's Triple H's baby. So you got to shit on him. And that's it. It's that simple.
But you know what, though? But see, I'm getting tired of that excuse. And the reason being is because at the end of the day, it's still his company. These are two solid guys that are going to make your main roster a shit ton of money because they are over. They are over in a big way, and they can go. They can talk. They have the gimmicks, and they can go. So why ruin it just to pump my chest? Like
every time we say that, and we try to justify.
He's cutting in and out, but I kind of get what he's saying.
Yeah, because we do. If you realize when he says we're justifying, you're right. It's like, if you notice, even going back to like Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes wasn't Vince McMahon's creation, so when he finally got Dusty under contract, he put him in the fucking polka dots and embarrassed him. It almost seems like that. He always seems to do that.
And nobody would have been able to make that work outside of Dusty Rhodes.
Steve Austin became the fucking ringmaster. Like, you know what? It's shit like that where you're like, he's just fucking with these guys to fuck with them. to see if they're going to put up with it. And then if they can put up with it, he's going to move them up. It's like either being hazed or initiated. Old school.
I don't know. I think there's something more to it. I really
There
do.
has to- I agree with Steve because these guys are still at their NXT. They're contractually working for the WWE. So if you were taking like this was an outside, like, AEW or TNA or something like that, or Ring of Honor, and bringing them in and pulling this horse shit, it would make almost sense. You're NXT, you still work for the WWE.
And let's not get it twisted. Just because, yes, it's Triple H's baby, and yes, he's the overseer. At the end of the day, it's still Vince McMahon's company, and I don't want to hear anybody tell me he doesn't have a say in what goes on in NXT, and how many times he's probably gone over Triple H's head, to make calls over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure he has, but Triple H has, it's essentially his brand. NXT, the original way NXT was introduced was a game show to introduce Florida Championship Wrestling wrestlers to the main roster.
Our friend Maven.
Yep. It was never meant to be NXT was never really meant to be a brand. Then it started being its own separate show when it was its own separate show on Sci-Fi. And they had like that out where it was like awful, and like CM Punk and Michael Cole would just sit there and talk shit about it the whole time. It wasn't really a brand. And then they integrated it with the Performance Center stuff. What I'm saying is it boils down to this whole concept was not Vince McMahon's idea. As much as it's part of his company and he has a say-so in it, he still feels like Raw was the first live sports entertainment, whatever show brand going on longer than Rawhide for the longest live program ever, whatever the fuck. And SmackDown is the successful second show. Those were his creations. He created The Rock, and they created the phrase SmackDown, which created this whole empire, yada, yada. NXT is not. The NXT, the whole system that was built up by Triple H, Dusty, Shawn Michaels, Steven Regal, fucking Big Wiggle, was it Norman Smiley, and Hugh Morris there. So like it wasn't his baby. So I feel like he just feels. I don't think Vince McMahon has the connection to NXT the way Triple H does. So that's why he doesn't treat him as well.
Yet most of the current roster champions all came up from NXT.
Yeah, but how many of them did he change around and screw around? Like the Viking Raiders, Viking Experience, Viking this, Viking that, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
right. He tries to change them, but again, but they're wrestling and they speak for themselves the most time. Like Rhea Ripley the other night.
Like do those goofy bowling contests and all that horse shit that like those War Raider kind of guys wouldn't do. They still had to do the goofy Vince McMahon stuff in order to get over on the main roster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they also had no choice of anything that they wanted to do competitive wise when there's a freaking pandemic going on too. That stuff wouldn't have happened if it wasn't in the middle of COVID too.
That's true. Hello, Sultan of Awesome. Thank you for watching
on
us
Twitch.
On Twitch.
Nice.
We don't get too many Twitch folks.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for checking us in, man. Welcome. All right, listen, we've been at this for a while now with these two. I think we got our points across. Right, I do think we need to start with Money in the Bank. Yeah. I have to say, with the exception of some of the finishes, which we are going to get into, overall, this is one of the best pay-per-views I think WWE has put out in quite some time. Now, I don't know. I think some of the matches were very good up until finishes. Mm-hmm. I think the booking of the matches, I think, was correct. I think a lot of the results were correct outside of how they got to said results. But most importantly for me, I have not watched a WWE event in a long time and gotten goosebumps. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I finally got them, and it was because of the crowd. Mm-hmm. The crowd was back. It was packed to capacity. And there were multiple times that roof flew off the place. And you could see the excitement of the wrestlers, even the heels. They cracked smiles. They looked around. They got the goosebumps because that's what it's all about. And that's why wrestling fans stay wrestling fans, even when the product sucks, because at the end of the day, you get those goosebumps. And that's not something that you get all the time. So for me, I give this pay-per-view high marks. I really do.
That's because you won.
Well, listen, that was luck of the draw. I called it right. It wasn't as predictable. I mean, for me, it obviously was, I guess, but even still, I had a very tough time making my decisions.
Of course,
the easiest decision for me was calling Big E.
Absolutely.
I 100% thought that was going to happen. I just disagreed with everyone else on the panel that it would be an immediate cash-in and Kofi Kingston would be champion. And we'll get to that. Because, again, as great as I feel this pay-per-view was, there were some things that I felt were very questionable. So before we dissect it, overall opinions from the panel, I'm giving it high marks. What do you guys think? Vince, go ahead.
It was fine. Like, it didn't blow me away, but it was like, listen, it was much better. Oh, wow, they want to hop on. Damn. Somebody's trying to promote their own shit.
We can
channel, brother. Send us a
listen, Sultan, find us on Facebook, send a private message, and we'll talk. We'll see if we can,
or the War Report group on Facebook.
Yeah, and we can talk about possibly getting you on for a show or something. But we'll talk it out.
Oh shit!
What? Well, what do we have?
A cup of haters?
Holy shit!
A cup of haters? What's up, guys?
What's up, baby? How you doing?
Yo, I'm good, man. I'm good. I was just listening before I came and pressed the button there because I haven't had goosebumps since I heard Steve do his rant just now. That shit gave me some goosebumps. So I had to hop on.
Am I wrong though?
And he has a beater on. My man got a white beater on. You flexing on me? God damn, look at my dick hard.
I'm in a Florida room. I'm fucking frying in this motherfucker, and there's no AC.
Damn.
So
Yo, I live in Florida. I know all about Florida rooms, bro.
So but listen, all jokes
I get
aside,
head in my Florida room all the time.
Hey now, do you not agree? Do you not agree with what
we gotta put that up on the screen?
Yeah.
Do you not agree what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Tell me you didn't get goosebumps when you heard the crowd.
That's why I put my headset on and my camera on, bro, because I agreed with you 100%. I had to jump in because
with the crowd being back, there's
look. I was lucky enough to be at one night of WrestleMania this year, and being there for that kind of set the tone for what I was looking for, because at the end of the day, it adds so much to the wrestling world. It adds so much to an event, a pay-per-view, when you're watching it. And to be there live, it gives you 10 times more, right? So,
for sure.
Seeing Sunday night's show, it brought me back. And then I can't even front. I marked out when Cena came back. Even though there was so much hype and there was so much dirt sheet talk about, yeah, he's going to be back, he's coming back, it's going to happen. When I heard the music, obviously I didn't know when it was going to happen. So I'm thinking Roman Reigns, you're going to see the little WWE logo in the bottom and that's it, sign off. And to see that, it added a whole nother dimension, because I was like, holy shit.
Now, here's the thing. So I had the same reaction. It was a true holy shit moment, because I preach on this fucking show week after week after week about the elements of surprise being gone. Yes, there have been rumors for a while that Cena's going to come back. Most people are probably thinking if it's going to happen, it's going to happen at a SummerSlam. It's going to happen at one of the big four, right? So nobody really was thinking, and nothing leaked at all, that he was in the building that day. So it was a true surprise. He fucking comes out.
He did.
Even he says at one point he couldn't believe the reaction, because he thought he would still get booed, and the response overwhelmingly was
because of the whole Taiwan thing.
Well, I don't. What were you going to say, Vince, about the?
John Cena on Instagram earlier on Sunday put up a picture of a screenshot, like a fake screenshot of a bank account balance with $0 in it. So saying no money in the bank.
That motherfucker not broke.
I know, but he was like his hint. It was his hint to
Yeah, but so
And
so
not-
did
and
Becky.
not only-
Becky posted a an Instagram
Becky
post.
posted like
Which,
she was coming out too, and she's just messing with people.
I was hoping
Now-
that was fact, because that would have been
Now-
really, really cool.
Now, here's the thing, too. Something I did hear today. Again, who the fuck knows how true it is? But the rumor is not only is Cena back, but he's committed back to a full-time schedule. So, like, this isn't like I'm going to be there till SummerSlam, lose and disappear kind of thing. It sounds like he's back. So that's pretty fucking cool. We'll see how it goes. The one thing I am a little disappointed about, though, is I was really hoping, I was saying to myself, there were always rumors back in the day of turning Cena heel, and they never pulled the trigger, mostly because of marketing and the kids, and they were selling so much fucking merch, so they didn't want to pull the trigger. But Cena was really behind the idea of going heel. And I really was hoping, like, this would have been the perfect time to come back Thugonomics and just shit on people and be heel. Now, that's not to say that won't happen this run of his return, however long it's going to be. I think that would have been, but even still, though, it was good. And he still cuts a great fucking promo.
Still cuts an amazing promo. Just, I mean, like I said, the crowd being into it. You could even see when his music hit, Roman's face, his reaction to it, kind of added an element like, oh shit, I got to deal with this dude now, And
I wouldn't be 100%. I wouldn't be 100% surprised if Roman didn't know, because it's not like they had a physical encounter. So
no, and there was no words spoken, right? I mean, it could have been a total surprise. I mean, I could see that. I mean, how many times have you seen them, put a invisibility cloak over somebody, sit them in a truck for 6 hours, and then bring them out?
Listen, when the Hardys returned for WrestleMania, nobody knew. When the New Day, they were the hosts, and they called it. They didn't know until the music hit. Mm-hmm. So that reaction with them jumping up and down and dancing and shit was 100% genuine.
So
which made it real, which made it just that much better.
Yep. So with the broadcasters for number 21 for Edge, they didn't tell them that he was going to be 21. That's why Booker T was like, "You got to be shitting me on camera."
Word. That's why I don't tell my girls, like all my bitches, my dick size. That when I pull it out, it'll be a genuine surprise.
Hey now.
I like the pop.
Okay, yeah.
Oh shit, you got a kid there, Cat? My bad. Damn. I thought this was an adult only show. My bad.
That's all good.
I see people in the chat over here talking.
She's heard a lot worse.
Exactly. No, but it was so funny because when she heard me scream, she came running in to see who it was.
Oh, that's funny.
She's literally be sitting here in tears since she saw you on the screen.
I'm glad that I could bring that essence to the podcast.
Well, it has been a long time, but
it is.
Here's the other thing too. I think a lot of things are setting up right now. And I think we're going to be on a different level. There's things that I'm noticing. I'm pretty confident Blood is coming back because they didn't seem to freak out, go to commercial, black out the screen. Elias got cut open on Raw. So that was a thing I noticed. Bullshit came out before 10 o'clock. So I think we're getting a little edgier. I think they're picking up the pace a little. We have new backgrounds both for Raw and SmackDown, which looks spectacular. The presentation is spectacular. We have announced teams that are sensational. Mm-hmm. I now, after Money in the Bank, I want to say that McAfee has 100% become my all-time favorite broadcaster in the history of broadcasting. I absolutely love every fucking thing about that guy. Dude, I'm telling you, and I'm talking about Monsoon, I'm talking about Heenan, I'm talking about good old JR. I'm telling you, he's different.
Sir.
He brings it in a different way, as if
Sir.
I was sitting at that fucking booth, freaking out like I've never seen the product before and seeing them up close. And it's real and it's genuine. Maybe not JR. I might be
It's
going
good,
a little
buddy.
overboard.
Come on, man.
No, but
as
I
I'm
do
thinking
get-
about it,
I do
but
get.
I'm
what you're
hyped
saying.
up.
Yeah,
You
because
know what I mean?
how many broadcasters, like aside from maybe like what Joey Styles used to do in ECW, do you ever see the commentators standing up on the table,
No.
calling the freaking matches like what we're doing at home while we're watching? I mean,
Yeah,
he must
he's
have
actually
screamed.
excited to be there. Which
He
is
must
great.
have screamed "kick out" like 30 times on Monday night.
There
On
was a
Sunday night,
video.
sorry. Like what we do at
There-
home. Yeah, you son of a bitch. That's what he does.
Well, yeah.
There was a video on SmackDown Live before they went live.
Mm-hmm.
McAfee has his own entrance now, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah,
He
it's
comes
like
out.
the Nation Army.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out and he gets the entire crowd to boo Michael Cole out of the building. He gets up and
I
he's
saw
talking
that.
on the mic. You saw that video? It was
Yeah.
awesome. And he's so fucking over. And what I also like about McAfee is that he's going to be the type of guy that's not only going to be sensational at the table, but he's going to get in the ring. It's going to happen. He's going to rub somebody the wrong way. They're going to set up a little something. McAfee's going to get back in the ring. Sort of like how Bobby Heenan used to be. Heenan would wrestle a match, go right back to the booth, or, this and that. I think I am so excited for this guy. I can't. It's really fantastic. And but back to Money in the Bank. I think so. Let's go to Bobby Lashley and Kofi Kingston, because that's one match that I don't understand why. What's funny too is that the match, the entrances are happening, and I'm saying to myself, this is going to be a squash. Something just came to me, and I said, they're going to squash Kofi out. And lo and behold, it was a 100% squash.
So
and I
true.
don't understand why you would do that to Kofi, why you would do that at a pay-per-view. There's other guys on the roster that, well, maybe not main event guys. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I think that was poor.
I think I have the answer. And the only
Go
reason
for it.
that I think I have the answer is because you've set up Big E with the Money in the Bank. Now you've set up him to be that person that's going to step in and have, all the power behind him, right? So yes, one person from New Day is going to have you can't keep both strong, super strong in the world title match, right? Because if he doesn't get squashed at this point, now you leave that door open, and now Big E's cash in might feel like they're going to put a little strain on their relationship. So I could kind of see the psychology behind it. Squash Kofi. Now you bump Big E into a main event role, a main event opportunity at some point in the future. But then also you have to now say, we're going to bring Goldberg back. We have to make him be like this force, because Bobby has just went through 4 months of Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And then to put a little program together with Kofi where sometimes the New Day makes him look weak, right? Bobby Lashley, he lost to Xavier, he lost to Kofi already. So now you have to have him come back, because if you stretch out that match and you make it look like Kofi has a chance, the Goldberg angle really doesn't have steam now, because now what is everybody going to think? Oh shit, well, if Kofi took him to the max, if E took him to the max, or X took him to the max, then Goldberg stepping in is just going to be a simple, 3 spears, a jackhammer, go home for the title. And you don't need that right now. Bobby is very strong. He has to maintain that strong.
Well, Bobby's going to
appearance.
beat Goldberg. I mean, Bobby's going to beat him.
And I hope so. I don't want Goldberg to be the champion. But again, it's the psychology behind it. It's the fact that you have to keep him in that top spot for probably until Royal Rumble, at least, where you could then maybe insert him into the Rumble. And maybe if he does lose it at some point, maybe you insert him into the Rumble. And now he has a chance to kind of gain it back and gain steam up to Mania again.
And I get that, Heck, but then why pick Kofi Kingston to be the one to take that?
Well, why not? Right? He could put on a match. He could carry the psychology aspect of it. He's a high flyer. You have the people behind him for Kofi Mania, right? So the juxtaposition on everything that he does is exactly almost the opposite of what Bobby Lashley is. Strong and fast, strong and big versus smaller and quicker. You know, the history is behind it. Now you got Kofi Mania. You can sell a few T-shirts. I mean, it makes sense when you look at it in retrospect, right? Now that you know kind of what the end game was. So for me, my only thing, and this is just me kind of throwing a little something out there, my only thing is now I have, if I'm a booker, now I have so many options to roll with because now I have two people that have come back, right? In John Cena and Goldberg to insert themselves in main event spots. Now, one person that has a legitimate gripe with both of those people, you would have to say the Fiend could come back and not insert himself in any one of those angles and make anything possible, right? Because the John Cena match from Mania, 2020, now you could kind of go along those lines. Then you can go, and say, all right, well, Goldberg, squashed me for the Universal belt a couple years back. Now I have that angle to play. So as a Fiend, as a booker, now I can say, well, I have versatility in that, yeah, maybe Goldberg loses, but it's because of the Fiend. Now I can start a program with Goldberg. Or if Cena's going to be around for a while, maybe he doesn't win, beat Roman. Or maybe, Bray inserts himself into that. Now you have an angle that you can kind of, have a tangent off of. That's what I see.
That makes sense.
That's what I could kind of, see happening. But
it doesn't make sense. We'll have to see which way it plays out. Again, with this story, with this writing team, who the fuck ever knows. One thing, Tara commented that Goldberg doesn't deserve a match. He's been gone for how long? I will say this. At the end of the day, people's likes or dislikes for Goldberg, however you want to perceive him, at the end of the day, he's a legend. In his own right, he's a legend. There's things that he accomplished in WCW that made him what he became. He became a star without WWE. That in itself is a feat. Now, granted, WCW made that happen. Goldberg was able to deliver, and he was entertaining, and there were people that were big fans of his. No matter what went wrong towards the end when he came to WWE and everything else, at the end of the day, he's Goldberg. He is in the history books. He is in the Hall of Fame. So in that respect, he does deserve a match. At the end of the day, I'm not necessarily saying that I agree that he deserves a title match. To me, Goldberg can come back and wrestle a match and you'll get your jollies either way. But in this situation, it makes sense to me. Bobby Lashley has gone through the roster. He's out there with MVP saying that there's nobody left. Goldberg is a guy that could take down Bobby Lashley. We've seen him take down guys like Brock Lesnar. So this also potentially could set up a Bobby Lashley Brock Lesnar match down the line, because I truly believe Goldberg will be losing this match and Bobby Lashley will continue to be champion.
So Goldberg's winning this.
And number 3, and then this
we
is the
said
last
that
part.
Before, though, Goldberg knew he's going to win.
Well, that's true, but I firmly believe he's not going to. And thirdly and lastly, as I said earlier, he has signed a contract with the WWE where he has to wrestle X amount of matches a year. He has one left. They decided they are going to use it for SummerSlam. So, WWE has made it that he does deserve the match because this is the one they want to use him for. It is what it is. It's going to be entertaining, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, then maybe he could win, and then Big E cashes afterwards on Goldberg.
Now, that's something that could very well happen too. Yes. He is, and I'm not taking that away from him. I'm just saying there are others who deserve it more. Now, that I agree with. I do agree with you on that. There are many people back there that, yes, do deserve that spot.
You said it the best. They came out, Bobby Lashley MVP, and I know their heels are supposed to exaggerate. They say there's nobody left for them to beat. And they bring in a part-timer, a guy who's 57 years old, who is a big star and a legend and a Hall of Famer and all that. But imagine that you have fucking 200 people under contract and your writers on your television show decide to say 199 of these guys fucking stink, and only Bobby Lashley. We have nobody else. And then you've got like Samoa Joe, and you've got like Kerry and they're not. These guys aren't perceived as a big deal.
Holy shit, Mustafa Ali was right now.
Hey, let me. Well, hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Hey,
let me ask you a question. Then, to your point,
yeah.
So, if that's the case, and you were booking it, who would you put in that spot that would be believable contender to beat Bobby Lashley?
Keith Lee.
You could have put Keith Lee, and I mean, she's not wrong.
I mean, not after what they did last night.
But that's what
before all that happened.
Yeah. But if they want to, you want to promote your guys, you bring up your Karrion Kross and you say champion versus champion. And maybe you don't even have to make it for the title. It's just a non-title match to see who the most dominant champion is. I mean, if you're fucking jobbing out Karrion Kross anyway, why waste it on Jeff Hardy? Give it to somebody who, that's a main eventer.
Yep.
But it's just strange to think that, the story is he's cleared out the heavyweight division, and they have to call in the reserves and call in Goldberg as like their secret weapon.
But he hasn't cleared out the heavyweight division. He's been wrestling Drew McIntyre every freaking for X amount of months.
Speaking of like people who don't deserve things, that's kind of the theme of like John Cena. And again, there's arguments John Cena should just be able to come in and demand a title match. Sure, I guess you can say that, but he didn't win. Fucking Goldberg didn't win. Goddamn Seth Rollins, who I can't even watch on television anymore, loses in the Money in the Bank and then says he wants an immediate title match, and then comes out and interferes in the title match at the end. And it's just like, people demanding title shots should be fucking winning matches, period. AEW does it. New Japan does it. Every other wrestling company in the fucking world, if you want to challenge for a title, you have to start winning matches. You don't just whine and complain and get a match. It's
now
just
that I 100% agree with.
Yeah, but sometimes it keeps it fun too. So Goldberg is fucking there as a stand-in because they couldn't get Lesnar for SummerSlam. We know that.
You definitely know they were trying to get Lesnar for
that's all it was. They had to do something with him. It's fucking terrible, but what else are you going to do?
And again, all the guys that they would put him with are gone. Fucking Mark Henry's gone. Braun Strowman's gone. The Big Show's gone. All those oh my
There's
God.
rumors that Strowman is they re-signing Strowman.
Listen, and not for nothing, if we're right and he does lose, then at the end of the day, it is what it is. He came back. He drew some seats. He loses. Lashley continues his reign. Now he's that much more over because now he's taking down a legend like Goldberg.
Of course he's going to fucking lose, but it's just terrible to see that. You guys know how I feel. I hate Goldberg anyway. So
I know you do. But,
second that.
But, it is what it is. Anyway, Money in the Bank continues. Let's talk about they opened, the pre-show, right, was Uso versus
Ray and Dominic.
Right, and that was a great match, and the Usos stole the win at the end. I thought that finish was great. I thought it looked great.
And drunk driving all in 1 week? Come on, man.
Listen, it is what it is. That's their own personal shit. But at the end of the day, I thought the match was solid. I thought it looked great. It was one of the best matches of the night, in my opinion. We're definitely up there. And I was happy.
Dominic has to slow down, though.
He does. But you know what, though? You got to remember, too, now, this is the first time he's actually performing with the crowd.
Yeah.
So you could tell, even at the beginning in the entrance, when he was looking around and taking it in, the excitement that was, and that's what I was talking about, that what I was feeling, they were feeling 10 times more. And that's the feeling we've been waiting for. And that's what made it better across the board, because I finally got the goosebumps that I haven't gotten in a very long time. So, I thought that was cool. Great match. I'm glad to see the Usos win because now you have the dynasty with the gold. It's a good look. And then they opened with the women's Money in the Bank.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what do we think? I think overall it was pretty decent. I
All
think
right,
the
Sam,
end
tell
was
us how
stupid.
you feel.
I just want to say this. I went last minute change because I was not gonna go with this person, but I wound up saying, you know what, I'm gonna go with Bliss. Because I had it in my head like something will happen where everyone will be down, she'll be standing, and she'll use her powers or something, and the briefcase will just drop from the sky into her hands, and or something crazy. So I got that one wrong, but I thought the finish was pretty stupid looking. It had a lot of potential. It was a great match. There were some great spots in that match, but I was definitely not expecting Nikki Cross to win. And in the way that it happened. What do you guys think?
Am I supposed to suspend my belief of reality to make this girl? I mean, to
Yes, it's fiction.
feel like I know it is, but are we not? It's not 1992 when Papa Shango is over here fucking making people.
Are you about to
spit
shit on
out.
Alexa Bliss?
Oh no, I think he's talking
can't.
about Blank Man.
I can't. By the way, do you see my John Cena watch? You can't see it, right? Yeah, it's a Florida thing, man. It's a Florida thing, man.
That was fucking good.
No, but I'm tired of it. Plain and simple, I'm tired of it. I'm over the whole.
I love it.
Making what's his name, Reginald smack himself or Nia smack him. I mean,
that is
come on,
24/7 champion Reginald.
I love it.
Yes, I do like that. I can't front. He is athletic as hell.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He is athletic. I think he worked for Cirque du Soleil prior. I believe that's why they keep mentioning that.
Yep.
Yo, I'm cool with that stuff, man. That's the kind of stuff that I don't mind. I mean, I hate that he was injected into so many different, storylines, but at the same time, that is some cool stuff, man. So
apparently Vince McMahon is a very big fan of that guy. I am too. I like the acrobatics. I like the flying around.
Yeah. How about Ricochet's spot? Can I mention that one time? Can I give Ricochet his flowers for Ricochet's spot off the ropes?
Yeah.
Ricochet is unfucking believable. I mean, it's just he's the closest thing to a fucking Superman. The shit that he can do is mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, this is like 3 weeks in a row now he's done something, and each time when you sit there and say he couldn't top that, he fucking tops it. It's just unbelievable.
I agree.
I would have been very happy if he won the match. I knew that wouldn't go that way, but that's a shame.
Because he's got the personality of a paper plate.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
he needs a manager.
It still goes back to a point that I made, or we talked about a few months ago when I was on. I think that he has nothing to show for whatever he does. I mean, how can you get behind somebody who has no
and no momentum?
Nothing.
He doesn't. Really eventually he got the win against Morrison, but it was like count outs and double count outs and DQs and this and that and all this bullshit. So like 3 or 4 weeks later, when he finally got the big win, like who gives a shit? He had to try 4 times to get it done.
I think the coolest thing about him, other than his moves, was his gear change. But now he went back to his old stuff, and I wasn't down with that. I like the jeans and all that stuff that he was doing.
That kid needs to have a good manager. That's what he needs.
Yeah, I think. But how about a superhero group with Nikki? Nikki a superhero and Ricochet
a superhero.
I hate Nikki. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I just.
Give him something.
You want to talk about something that's fucking stupid? This I'm soon to be a superhero fucking thing is absolutely fucking horrific. Nikki Cross is so fucking good and talented, and I cannot get behind this fucking bullshit at all. She's not the Hurricane. She's not Molly Holly. It's not going to work.
Gimmick either. You know what I mean? Like this is a lower card gimmick that they put. This is Santino. No offense. Santino's another one. Good wrestler. Santino winning the world title level of silliness. They never gave Santino the world title because he was a fucking mid-card comedy character. This is a mid-card comedy character. Shouldn't have the belt. And I'm sure she's going to lose it at SummerSlam or 2 weeks from now or whatever. Or, Bliss is going to...
And it's going to go right back to Charlotte so that she can continue the count, and eventually she's going to exceed Daddy's title reign.
Somebody online said, are they trying to get Charlotte to 16 title reigns before Rick dies.
Absolutely. 100%. And they're going to do a whole fucking celebration,
Like,
and
we don't
Rick
know how
will be
much time
there.
this fucking guy's got left. We got to speed this shit up, man.
I'm telling you, 100%. I agree. I think that's definitely going to go down. But yes, we got to speed it up. So what else? I mean, we had 9 matches. We've covered it like 2. Well, fuck it. Let's talk about Roman. So Roman and Edge. I thought the match was fantastic up until the end.
Vince Russo started booking the last 5 minutes of the pay-per-view. Yeah.
But I think that was one of the best matches. It far exceeded my expectations. I think they both looked fantastic. Everything from entrances all the way through the match. I kind of expected a Fugazi finish, right? I said it last week. To have Rollins interfere twice. I'll get it. The fact it's really frustrating to have Rollins there twice, and then it sucked.
Yeah, no,
the finish sucked. The outcome is what I expected, but the way we got there, I think, was poorly executed.
Because again, you took a guy like Edge, and you made him look like the rated R superstar, the master manipulator, all this stuff. He's kind of a dirty play. Like he was known for cheating and all this other shit, and like he just gets outsmarted. Like here's the thing, in ring, the Edge thing. Like this is why you bring Edge back. He's a legend. He's got a lot of experience. He knows how to get through a match, especially with a good opponent. And they put together a great match. And I'm not saying it's one person or the other. It was the both of them together. You couldn't have had that match without either of them. But Edge, you can tell Edge had a lot of hand in producing the match. Up until that fucking finish, which was just, like I said, it seemed like Vince Russo was booking for like 5 minutes. Like he snuck in and typed on McMahon's laptop and left the building or something. Like Mission Impossible. Like he snuck down, like he dropped from the ceiling. Yeah, I don't know. Edge.
But I will say,
after 2 pay-per-views, WrestleMania and Money in the Bank. So
he didn't look like an asshole though. The match was very good. The match was very good up until the end.
He looked like an asshole at the end of it.
He didn't look weak. He didn't look weak at the end. He didn't look weak. No, he didn't. At the end of the day, he got screwed. And it is what it's fucking wrestling. It's what happens. But I don't think that devalued him in any way. It didn't make him look weak. I don't know. Heck, Chairman, what do you guys think?
Started by Seth Rollins when you're the rated R superstar who was like, again,
after they just fucking killed themselves for 20 fucking minutes. Yeah.
He also hasn't been the rated R superstar for like 30 fucking years. He's done.
Right, but I mean, fucking done. As bad as getting thrown.
Oh, come on, that's not fair. That's not fair. Edge looked fucking great.
PPR rated superstar.
PPR.
But I just,
that's horrible.
Edge comes back, he gets stacked up at WrestleMania, and then he loses this match. It's like, come on. And I know he's going to, or at least he should. He should beat Seth Rollins at SummerSlam.
Well, I think that's what they just set up by doing that. It's going to be Edge because I think even Beth Phoenix tweeted, so that's going to hype it up too. Like,
what if Edge loses that? Let's go down that road.
Edge loses that. That's 3 money. He loses.
Edge isn't losing. Edge is not going to lose to Seth Rollins. Edge is not going to lose.
He's losing.
He's not losing.
He already lost. It's over.
What?
It's already in the books.
Wow.
This is funny. We're talking
Vince, we'll just save it for our cards on the when we
have to
on what you think's gonna happen.
Ryan, please mark this date and time down so we can
timestamp that shit.
Yes, timestamp this and we'll come back to it.
Hell's yeah.
See what happens after SummerSlam. We'll see if Mystic Chairman over here is gonna have his prediction come true.
Always.
Yeah. But I will say, even still, then the John Cena deal kind of saved the end. I thought that was very cool. What else?
Yeah,
what else was
definitely saved at the end?
Oh, for sure. What else was something big and notable last couple of minutes that we should mention about Money in the Bank that we haven't?
The big ending off the top of the ladder was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah,
that
looked great.
Looked fucking perfect.
Yeah. Big E's a star. This is like, as long as this ends with Big E winning the world title, this could be
It
the
will.
year that they pick the right guy at the right time to win the briefcase and really make him a big superstar. Because
But
this
does
is
anybody
it's
think we
big
should
time.
stop with the fucking comedy though? Like, I want him to destroy.
Yes.
Like, I think he's done with that already. Like, yeah, you got over. You helped your team get over. You guys did a great fucking job.
Right, yeah, I
Oh,
think
I don't mind if he's goofy and playing
I
to the
mind
crowd,
it.
and then when he gets into the ring, he becomes like, you know, a fucking machine and like badass. Like, I don't mind that.
I think he's got to stop that. I think he's got to move on to something else. I think when Heyman said that to him at that Raw talk, that shit was perfect, and he should capitalize on that.
Listen, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. And listen, at the end of the day, Big E is a star either way. You know, I'm a big fan. I'm very happy for him. I'm very glad that they made the right call by giving him the briefcase, and I do think he'll be successful when he cashes in. What else? Anything? I know we're missing shit.
Well, I mean, we had Charlotte and Rhea.
That match to me, was a mess. I didn't.
Botches, Steve? How many botches we got?
Oh shit! I mean, well, listen, you called, I think, 6. Out of the 6, I think I personally saw about 3. So I'd have to go back and look again. I didn't see 6 myself, but that doesn't mean there weren't 6. At the end of the day, it was sloppy. The outcome is what I thought it would be. I did think Charlotte was going to pull it out. I mean, whatever. It's, you know, people, they're doing this. Like I said before, they're doing this with Charlotte. They had her drop. She's going to get it back at SummerSlam, and it's going to add to the count. And she is going to wind up tying and then surpassing her father's amount of victories. I mean, that's what this is about. This is,
and as it should be. The children should always get that. That's why, you know.
And listen, if they want to do it while Rick is still alive, God bless. I think that's a great idea because he'll be there. You know, he'll celebrate with her. It'll be a great thing. You know, people want to shit on the fact that Charlotte won again, this and that. Charlotte is still one of the best, if not the best, women's wrestler in that locker room, in my opinion. And she deserves the belt. She's a Flair, and you got to be fair to Flair.
I mean, her father's one of the greatest of all time. We know that, gimmick-wise and all that. But she's amazing in the ring when she's on. When she's hot, she's fucking impossible.
Amen. 100%.
Light years ahead of her father as a worker. As crazy it is to say that, but it's the truth.
It's very true. And you know what? We used to say that her in-ring ability was phenomenal, but her mic skills sucked. Boy, has she come a long way on the microphone. She's still not the best promo person in the roster, but she's definitely nowhere near the worst. And there was a time where she was near the bottom. So, you know, she's put in the work, and, you know, she deserves what she gets. So people can shit on her all she wants, but it is what it is.
She's just not compatible with Rhea Ripley. That shit just doesn't work. You know, there's just some people.
No, and I agree with you, and I think it's more Rhea Ripley, quite honestly. I don't know.
They're wrestling the same style. It doesn't work that way. One's got to go under.
Right. Well,
that's
true.
It's like
anything else that we wanted to cover, or that's about it for now? We'll pick it up next week. We didn't even really, we touched on a few important things of Raw, but overall, like I said, I was pretty overall happy with the pay-per-view. I think it's one of the better ones we've seen in a while. I think a lot of that, again, did have to do with the live crowd being there.
About the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a huge difference, and it's great to see. And I think we're in store for some more surprises this week on SmackDown. Number one, anytime there's surprises on Raw, there's usually surprises on SmackDown. And 2, I read something that there's going to be more surprises. So we'll see if that comes to fruition, and then we'll definitely have more to talk about next week. But Vince, I'll give it to you to close her out.
All right. Well, I want to thank our guests this evening. Surprise drop in by Big Heck. Always nice to see you, sir. Is there anything that you'd like to plug on your way out tonight? All right. Good talk.
I think we have lost Big Heck.
All right. Chairman, anything from you right before we leave? Any parting words?
No, it's just good to be back. Next week, hopefully back to normal. keep it going. I got to put Steve under as usual because that's where he deserves to be. And that's it. That's all I got.
Getting out the golden shovel.
I miss you, bro.
Shit.
You fucker.
Also, I know a couple of us have escaped down south, but now that Canada is reopened, we can take a road trip and do a podcast with Amanda, actually, like in person in Canada, because the border's open again.
I'm down. Let's do it.
All right. I know Kat probably can't make it.
Oh, I got tickets for the show in September. If you all want to go, it's on me.
Whoa, which show?
Fucking Raw, isn't it? Raw or SmackDown? Around.
All right, we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk.
With that, we'll have to fill you guys in about the details.
Please, Eric said he'd make the trip to Canada, so I'm just hitching a ride with him. I'm good.
There we go. I mean, he could be your Uber driver. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. He does actually drive for Uber.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
People don't know that unless they know Eric, so I had to fill him in. He actually is an Uber driver. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the War Report. I'm sure Stacy is chomping at the bit to get dinner done, and Steve is waiting to hang up this show. So I hope you guys follow us on all of our social media at Tag Me a Date, no spaces. On Twitch, it's twitch.tv/War Report. We're on Periscope. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere at Tag Me a Date. YouTube.com. Type Tag Me Date in the search bar. Hit subscribe. Hit the bell to get notifications when we go live or when we upload a new video. If you would like to listen to a podcast version in audio form rather than video form, you can subscribe on your favorite podcast app of choice, such as Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Play Podcasts. Just look, excuse me, I got the burps today. Just look for either the War Report or Tag Me a Date, and you can subscribe. The audio version goes up about an hour after. Oh, I'm a mess right now. After our live stream, which is from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Eastern time. So about an hour after that, the audio version will be uploaded so you can take it with you in your car or to the gym or where else you ever need to go with your audio podcasts. Or you can just go to our YouTube page and check out our archive of live video streams. That's going to be it from us for this week. I hope to see you guys next week. If you're a wrestling fan, be sure to tell your friends about the show. Share it. We enjoy the fans that we have, and we will always want more people to join the War Report family. So please, if you know somebody that you think would enjoy, share a link with them, share an episode, and we'll be back next week for another live edition of the War Report podcast from 6 p.m. Eastern time. So hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Have a nice night.
Shit.